What's up, y'all? The Commanders just signed Byron Pringle, and I think this is a good look for him. He's getting old, and you know, it's not much room for him to start here, but at least he can make the roster because we recently had 6 receivers last season, and this season I'm sure we're going to have 6 again. And by him coming here, it's going to make 13. So it's going to be only 2 spots honestly open because we know that Terry McLaurin got his spot, Curtis Samuel, and we know De'Ami Brown and Jahan Dotson. They not getting their spots taken. So we know last season we kept 6. So we know the last 2 that was on the roster was Cameron Sims and Dax Mill. And we already know that Cameron Sims is not here anymore. He went to the Raiders. So it's room for one more right there. And then also Dax Mill hasn't really done much that really, he's been here for 2 years and only had 1 touchdown. And, he hasn't been able to start. But, in the kick return and the punt return, on special teams, they want more. You know what I'm saying? So they willing to swap him out. And I already know that for a fact. And especially with Kazmir Allen, Ron Rivera spoke about Kazmir Allen and the guy they got from UCLA. He went undrafted this year, and the special teams coordinator is also ecstatic about Kazmir Allen. So I'm sure Kazmir Allen, if so, is going to make it, and especially he's going to make it onto the special teams. So if anything, he would more than likely be on the wide receiver group. But then, so I know we got a lot of good receivers or, receivers that could possibly make it to the roster. So ain't no telling what's going to happen for my boy Byron Pringle. But I already know without a doubt Dax Mill is not going to be here next year. And just think about what Dax Mill did on kick return, for example. Of course, we know Antonio Gibson was the lead for kick return, and Dax Mill was the lead for punt return. But let's just talk about what he did in the little bit of time he had. Like, he had 15 attempts, and he only had 300 yards. He didn't have no touchdown. And think about this. Byron Pringle, right? When he used to play with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he only had, 15 attempts. And with 15 attempts, he had 320 yards on kick return. And he had a touchdown. And his longest touchdown was 102 yards. So if you can do that on kick return, why wouldn't we want you? And, his age is a big factor, but I feel like he still has a little bit left, in the tank. And he's 29. He's going to be 30 in the middle of the season. And, we signed him to a 1-year deal, and I'm sure we're going to let him go after that. But if it came down to Dax Mill or him, I would definitely go with him because he shows that, he can do it all. And also, like last season, what was it? He had 2 touchdowns. And he didn't have that many. He started only 4 games out of 11. And, he was injured for some of them. So he just shows what he can do in the little amount of playing time he has. And then the year before that, I believe it was maybe 2 years before that when he was with Kansas City Chiefs. His best years, he had 5 touchdowns and he had 500 yards. So it just shows that, if he's used, he can do his thing. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't even like the most productive on the Kansas City Chiefs. But we all know Travis Kelce, and I believe Tyreek was there. So Tyreek Hill was there. So, he didn't have much time to really, use, but he was productive in the time that they needed him. And, just think about just the fact that, he's been around Eric Bieniemy's offense for a long time. And he's been there since 2018 when he went undrafted in 2018. And, he didn't make it. He didn't have any stats that year. And that was mostly because he started on the practice squad. And, he showed what he can do. And he's proven himself. And he's earned a starting role at one point. But then, once they let him go, he went back down to, what he was. But he's still trying to fight. So he's been in this position before. So he understands how it is to not be the starter. And, I think that's mostly his whole career. So he hasn't really had that opportunity, but he knows how to maximize on that. So I think us having Byron Pringle in the lineup, hopefully if we can get him on the team, it'd be great. He's not super short and he's not super tall, but he's got great speed and he can do it and he's reliable. So I feel like whenever his number is called on, he can do his thing. So out of everybody on that backup receiver group, I definitely would want him to make it, And out of all the people on there, I feel like it's going to be him. I want it to be him, and I want it to be Kazmir Allen. I want them two to make the roster. But ain't no telling what's going to happen in training camp. And, training camp start this week. So, man, I wish them all the luck. And, man, I appreciate it if y'all subscribe to the channel. And thank you for making it this far in the video. I be rapping sometimes. But I just be trying to say everything and just give y'all all the information. And, also just leave a comment. Leave a thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? Just show that you enjoy the content. And then turn on your notifications because I'm trying to keep these videos coming for y'all.